What's up guys, it's Cal, and now the new server for Install Race launches in less than a week, so I'm going to start uploading some vanilla WoW videos to get people ready to know what's to look out for when the server launches, because personally, I know I'll be creating a new character. In this video we'll be taking a look at two leveling methods that early starters can utilize when first creating a character, and that's simply leveling through quests or grinding mobs to level that way. So I've played an hour and two different characters, starting from level 1 to see how far I can get. Now there's a few factors to worry about when doing a test like this. The race and class, of course, so for testing this, I chose a dwarf warrior for both trials. I didn't choose a human or orc because I thought their starting zone would probably be overpopulated. I didn't choose a night elf because their starting zone is actually a bit more difficult than others. That's of course personal preference, but that's how I saw it, especially with the spider cave at the end there. I didn't choose Tauren because, well, honestly I thought their starting zone in vanilla was extremely boring. I just decided to choose a dwarf, and then I chose a warrior because it's a pretty basic class to deal with. Also, whether you're grouped with people on certain parts or not, since experience would be split, that's a factor to go into leveling as well. For the questing method, I grouped with one other person just to kill a named mob at the end of the troll cave, but that's about it. For grinding mobs, I didn't group with anyone at all. By the end of this, I'll also tell you how much money I made, since I feel like that's a big factor on people's decision on which one to do. Treasures and random grains I found on corpses do play a role in how much money I made. That's another big reason why I picked the dwarf, because they can track treasures, although I didn't find any treasures, but still anyway. For questing, the only grain I did find was a recipe which I sold to a vendor at the end of the trial. Also, which one's more difficult or easy, although that's personal preference, the number of times I died does play a role in this test. For this trial I only died once, and that was more towards the end. I did pause the time for when I died to when I got back to my body, however, since you might possibly not die at all. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say for the questing trial. I'll let the rest of this play out if you do want to watch the leveling experience, and we'll pick back up for the grinding trial.
Hold up. How deep can we go? 'Cause you're pulling me straight down. I'm used to all the pressure. So
So here we are at the end here, my 1 hour's up. I've returned back to Karanos just to sell my belongings to see how much money I have made at the end. Now selling all this stuff, I've made a total, let me check one sec, 4 silver and 47 copper. And as you can see at the bottom there, I've reached level 6 and gotten 9.6% of the way into it. So that's it for questing. Let's move on to grinding and killing mobs and see how I did there. I want to start off by saying that the method of grinding mobs was a bit more difficult. I actually did 4 trials of this, which what you're seeing right now is of course my last. My first trial, I left the starting zone at level 2, thinking I could level to 3 in the Trog tunnel and be good for the outside world. Well, the Trogs were usually dead since people passed through there a lot and there weren't nearly enough to level with. They also didn't have a very rapid spawn timer. The second time I left to level 3 thinking I could possibly do the same thing, but if not then level with mobs past the cave. Well, all the mobs past the cave are level 5 or 6. As a 3, I couldn't take on a 6 and a level 5 would take down most of my health. Also, most of the mobs were 6 anyway. The third time I left to level 4, you probably see the pattern here. This wasn't too bad because I could kill level 5s and 6s, but they would still take down at least half of my health. And I found myself eating between every boss I killed, which took up most of my time. And I also didn't have much meat to eat anyway. And then this final trial, I left at about 80% of my way through level 4, so I would hopefully be level 5 by the time I left the Trog tunnel, or I might have to kill a mob or 2 past it, which I did have to do. So my plan of leveling was that as soon as I started, I turned around and killed level 2 Trogs until I reached level 2. When I was 2, I did the same thing but also killed some level 3 boars. Since Trogs are humanoids, they automatically drop copper, but sometimes the ruined pelts and claws that the boars dropped would sell for more than what the Trogs were dropping. Once I was level 3, I headed to the troll huts, killing level 3 boars on the way. The level 3 and 4 trolls were used to level myself up until about 80% of the way through level 4. Once I was about to reach level 4, I did go into the troll cave and kill some mobs there. Right before level 5, I headed out of the cave, killing trolls on my way, and I left the starting zone. I did have to kill a couple mobs past the tunnel, which I did end up dying to. It was my only death through the mob killing trial, but I did end up leveling to 5. And I just killed mobs around there. I went for boars mostly, sometimes killing bears. I tried to avoid cats due to their high attack speed. They did the most damage. Now when I left the starting zone, it did rank up much more in difficulty, more than when I was questing, and that was simply due to the fact that I didn't have good gear on me, which I did when I was questing. So one thing you'll actually see me do a bit later when I arrived in Karanos was buy gear with some silver or copper, and some of the gear I bought was a leather or cloth because it was cheaper. It was actually really sad, so that ended up deducting from my wealth at the end. Also, something I forgot to mention before, but you've probably already picked up on, is that with both trials I did spend copper to purchase new abilities, which was of course deducted from the total amount of money I received. The total amount doesn't matter that much, because I'll just be telling you how much I was left with. But that's pretty much it for the mob trial. I'll let it play the rest out here if you want to watch, and then we'll pick up at the end.
Hold up. How deep can we go? 'Cause you're pulling me straight down. I'm used to all the pressure, but you know I'm not the same.
So here we are at the end here, my 1 hour is up, and as you see at the bottom there, I got to level 5 and 56% of the way through that level. I also was left with 1 silver and 63 copper. That was of course buying all the gear. I did end up buying 5 pieces of bread because I needed more food since, as I said before, the killing mob method is more difficult and I did have to eat a lot more than when I was questing. But that's essentially it, guys. This comparison was actually pretty fun for me to do. I'm going to be posting some more vanilla videos on things to get people ready for the new Nostalrius launch. I do actually want to stream it. I don't know how long I'll stream it for. It is on January 7th, but that's the video, guys. You can leave a like on it if it was cool. You can sub to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.